And when despair comes, remember, God sees and he cares. God listens, and God is always working. And lastly, God always has a way forward. God always has a way forward. And verse 13 here. And, of course, Elijah, he sees the scene of the fire, the earthquake, the wind, and experiences that. And, of course, the still small voice. And God comes to him again. And verse 13, and it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in a mantle and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave. We see here a more reverent, a more humbled Elijah this time, coming out and realizing, man, he's addressing God here, and God's in control. And then it says here, and behold, there came a voice unto him and said, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant and thrown down thine altars and slain thy prophets with the sword, and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And when things look hopeless, God always has a way forward. And we see here God kind of lays everything out to Elijah. He says, Elijah, no, that's not true. I got this going. He says here, number one, God tells him to go. He said, hey, keep going, Elijah. Verse 15 says, and the Lord said unto him, go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus. He says, no, this isn't the end, Elijah. They're not taking away your life. And I can keep you safe. Your mission's not over. You haven't failed. Hey, keep going forward. And I love this verse in Exodus 14. The Israelites, of course, they're surrounded. They got mountains over here, mountains over here. They got the Red Sea behind them, and they got the Egyptians in front of them charging at them. And man, God had failed them. He allowed them to get stuck. He allowed them to get trapped, and he couldn't protect them, even though he sent all the plagues. And finally they call out to Moses. Moses calls out to God, and God says this. He says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. And when things do not work out like you thought they would in your walk with the Lord, it's not time to quit, but it's time to keep on going forward. And when despair comes, when disappointment comes, God still has a way forward. God still has something for you to do. He still has somewhere for you to go. And you may not see it working like how you want it to, but keep going forward.